What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners for the global version of the game of Dissidia Opera Omnia. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at Garland's Lost Chapter banner, which actually still includes Squall's burst weapon, and this will include Garland's, of course, EX weapon alongside with his LD weapon as well. Of course, you can still grab his 15 and 35 CP. However, we are going to be getting 2 extra characters in this banner. So I guess from now on moving forward, there will be 2 extra characters plus the burst characters. So in this case, it's going to be Sephiroth and Warrior of Light. And like I said, Squall's burst weapon is still going to be here. Unfortunately though, you won't be able to grab any of his other weapons. Now, before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help the channel, guys, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. And now, without further ado, let's start this video. Okay guys, so we'll start this video off with Garlands LD, and believe it or not, we'll also end it on Garlands LD because there's no reworks or any other new EX Plus at the time of the release of Garland's Lost Chapter. So without further ado, let's take a look at Garland's LD, which gives him the ability called Blind of Chaos. This will give him 3 uses for this ability. It is going to be the 8-hit AoE melee brave plus single target HP attack. Now this also increases the brave damage dealt when attacking a single target. It will have a 180% max brave overflow, a 50% splash damage to non-targets, and will give him 1 stack of the special effect buff called Chain of Time for 4 turns. And we'll get to that a little bit later, what it does. Next up, it will grant him another 3 stacks of Soul of Chaos for 6 turns, and will grant him the Soul of Conflict for 2 turns. And his next ability count will not actually consume any count at all as well. This does, however, exclude some abilities like we mentioned before. LD isn't really considered as a normal ability, so for anything that increases that particular any other abilities like your ability 1 and ability 2, unfortunately LD abilities aren't actually included in that. Now, as all of you might know, if you have been using Garland at any point in time, Soul of Conflict, while it's active, he is able to delay the target by 1 turn every time his attack hits. So for 2 turns, he'll be able to do a 1 turn delay, which is really nice. Now, while Soul of Chaos 5 is active, which is going to be the 5 stacks of Soul of Chaos, so this will turn Blind of Chaos into the plus variant. This will basically give him more brave potency for this ability, as well as increasing the stolen max brave overflow limit. Now, let's talk about the Chain of Time, which is that special effect buff that he will get with his LD weapon. This will basically lower the enemy's defense and speed based on the number of stacks. So if you have gotten Squall's LD, or at least has seen the special effect icon that some of them will have on top of their heads, this is basically what it does. So as the stack increases, basically this will lower the defense even further and the speed even further. So to increase the stack, he needs to attack enemies, and it can only go once per turn. So unfortunately, it will take a while for you to get to max stacks, but nonetheless, it is still a very powerful aura debuff. So think of it like Sephiroth's buff. However, this is a special effect icon instead of an actual debuff aura that Sephiroth has. Okay, now let's take a look at the limit breaks for this ability. So at 1 out of 3 limit break, this will increase his attack by 40% and increasing the potency of the Blind of Chaos ability, and he will have access to the plus variant of both his brave attack and HP attack. Now the brave attack plus is going to be a 4-hit melee brave attack, while the HP attack plus plus is going to be a 3-hit melee brave plus HP attack and will have a 150% max brave overflow limit. Now at 2 out of 3, this will further raise his attack by another 40% and extending the duration of Chain of Time by 4 turns. At 3 out of 3, this will raise his attack even further by another 40% and basically will get a 1 increased use of Blind of Chaos ability. Okay guys, so after hearing all this information regarding Garland's LD weapon, I guess I will just summarize what Garland will turn out to be with his LD, because I have covered Garland's should you pull stuff before. So if you guys are interested about his EX Plus, I do still have that video up, and I do feel like I have covered it pretty well beforehand. That's why I didn't want to recover the EX and the EX Plus. So regarding Garland, what do I think of him with his LD? Well, to be completely honest with you, I do feel like he sort of falls in the same category where Squall basically is. Squall's LD really fixed and enhanced what he was doing, and that's basically what Garland is getting with his LD weapon as well. As you guys can see, he actually gets more increased attack than Squall, which is really surprising. So the biggest thing to me here is his access to an HP attack, like a better variant, of course, the plus plus. Before, his HP attack plus was basically like a melee brave plus HP attack, which is honestly, before when he first came out, was actually pretty good, since we were only, you know, getting a lot of those really generic HP attack plus. So it was okay by all intents and purposes, but obviously we are getting a lot better variants of HP attack plus plus now, and this sort of fixes him to a certain extent, right? However, the biggest thing I have against this banner, or actually pulling for Garland himself, is he's in a bit of a limbo at the moment in terms of the place of his LD. He actually doesn't have a burst weapon, so a lot of people are going to be expecting when Garland's burst come out, his LD will also be in that banner, right? So chances are when he gets his burst, you know, if you actually skipped on this banner, that his LD is going to be in that banner, right? So that's like really one big reason for a lot of people are probably staying away from pulling on this banner. And you know, as much as his LD really fixes him and makes him even better, and really makes him more and more viable for like chaos difficulty, whereas before he was kind of, yeah, he's okay, you can bring him, but he'll need a lot of hand holding, right? This time around, he won't need any of those hand holding. He'll be able to actually hold his own. And I guess the other thing here is Garland still falls in the same category as Squall. They're both very selfish DPS. With Garland though, he does have that delay, which is okay. But if you already have a lot of delaying characters, I should say, you probably really don't need Garland anymore. However, if you do need a very powerful melee character right now, I guess Garland will be a good enough character, and that's just how I feel of him. In short, he's just really in the limbo where a lot of people or players would probably prefer to pull on him when his burst weapon comes out, and then pull on him then, because the LD is definitely going to be on that banner as well. Alright guys, I guess we're towards the end of this video, and the final question remains, should you pull? Now, if I didn't make it really clear enough, Honestly, this is probably not a banner that you would really go for. It's really not recommended to pull on. However, if Garland is one of your favorites, right, you can go ahead and pull for his LD. This just means you don't have to worry about the LD when his burst weapon comes out, right? You're going to be chasing for that burst weapon and you can forget about the LD since you already have it. So I do suggest if Garland is your favorite villain, use your tickets and see if you can luck sack that LD weapon. I would really highly suggest to avoid using your gems and trying to get Garland's LD that way. But again, it's really up to you. If you really want that LD now and just, you know, not worry about it later in the future, then go ahead. I mean, I'm not here to stop you from pulling. I'm just here to give you my own opinion about the banner. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help my channel once again and helps with that YouTube algorithm as well. And I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. Follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below if you are planning to pull on this banner. If Garland is your favorite, leave it down in the comments below. Or are you just gonna try and use tickets? I personally will probably use tickets and see if I can, again, luck sack his LD weapon, just like how I got Squall's LD. So yeah, we'll see what happens. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next level.